Hi everybody, I've been getting a few questions about financing a house and I thought maybe it'd be a good idea to send another video. So I just wanted to show you some differences between what I'm thinking you should do and what the book is telling you to do. So what I want to say is use the chart, not the formula in the book. So look at this formula. They're giving you the payment amount is you have to multiply how much you're borrowing, P, times the interest rate divided by N, which N is going to be 12, and then over 1 minus 1 plus, again, the interest rate over N, which is 12, times negative N, which is 12, times T, the number of years. I think this is a lot to put into your calculator. You really need, and I can show you really quickly, parentheses around the denominator when you do this, like here and here, or the whole thing gets messed up. But honestly, you don't need this formula. No one in the real world uses it. We all have programs and calculators that do it for us and charts. So I have no intention of having you use it to do the homework, to do the finance project, or to do the finance test. Instead, I want you to use the charts that I provided and the ones from the book. So for the project and test, use the ones I posted on Canvas, and I can send them out to everybody again if that's helpful. But for the homework, you might need to use the ones from the book as well. So this is the one from the book, and it's on page 610 of the book. You can probably use the little link that comes up on the Help Me Solve It or the things that say go to the book and just click through to get to this chart, or you can just use this one. Hopefully I haven't messed it up too much by doing the highlight. But I want you to notice I have highlighted, this should be the one that comes up in one of your homework, the payment per thousand for a 25-year loan at 9.5% interest. So you're just lining up the two things, the years that it gives you and the percent that it gives you. So let's do an example. Say we wanted to borrow $89,500 at 9.5% interest for 25 years. Then to find our monthly payment, we would multiply the number of thousands we are borrowing by the number in the chart. So the monthly payment would be $87,500 over 1,000. So the chart is always number of thousands. So whatever you have, make sure you're dividing by 1,000 to start, and then multiply it by what the chart says. So I lined up the 25 and the 9.5, and it says 8.73697. Okay, that says my monthly payment is $764.48. All right, I know the help button, right? If you see Help Me Solve It, it shows you the formula. You don't need it. You're going to get the same answer, and it's going to be so much quicker if you just use the chart. So why are there so many charts? The numbers in the books are way too high. Nobody is paying 9.5% interest for a home loan. So I don't want to have you do problems on the test or on the finance project with those kind of numbers. I want to teach you what really happens. So I give you numbers that reflect the current financial situation. No one has charged 9.5% interest since the early 90s. I'm thinking a lot of you weren't born by then, right? So I don't want to teach you stuff that's bogus. I don't want to teach you numbers that are way too high. I want to teach you what's happening today. So that's why I provide extra charts, is because the book is just not realistic. All right. I did want to provide a little bit more direction before you start the project. I have experience with what students get tripped up on, so I just wanted to point out a few things. First, make sure you deduct the down payment from the asking price before you do any of the calculations. So the calculations you're doing are, yes, there's an asking price, but then you're going to find the down payment, and then all the calculations for monthly payment and stuff will be based on this new lower amount. And then second, the one that people miss the most, is I ask you for the balance after you lived in the house for 10 years. It really needs to be less than the original amount you financed. You've lived there 10 years, you've been making payments, the amount is going down. You never ever owe more than what you borrowed. So when you look at that, I want you to say, does that make sense? Does it not make sense? Did I get a smaller amount? So the balance should be decreasing. It has to be decreasing. It's slow, I know that, but it does decrease, I promise. So I wanted to show you a quick example of what that should look like. So I said, say we borrowed $225,000. So I'm not saying this is how much the house was. This is the amount I'm borrowing. And I said, what if we do 30 years at 5.25% interest? So I could just show you on the chart what that would look like. So using the chart, I can see that my payment per thousand is $5.52. So in this example, the monthly payment, I would take the $225,000 and I divide by 1,000. Always divide by 1,000. Multiply it by the 5.52. Came out really pretty. It's $1,242. Okay, so this is the monthly payment we're going to pay for this house. All right. 10 years later, my monthly payment is still $1,242. The idea is we're doing fixed rate loans, so that $1,242 is the payment I make forever. But now, since I've been there a while, I'm really not paying $5.52 per thousand anymore. That's the weird part. That's the nuance. So I need to look at the chart and I need to figure out, well, how much am I really paying? So I'm still paying 5.25% interest. That's not changing. But I need to switch on over to 20 years to see that now I'm paying $6.74 per thousand. What's happening is I'm paying more toward the balance, right? So that's how this is changing. So what I need to know is how much am I paying off? So our kind of generic formula here is my payment is equal to the number of thousand borrowed times the payment per thousand. So when I do that with the numbers we have, I'm paying $1,242 a month. I'm paying $6.74 per thousand. So I can do a division. So I put in my calculator 1242 divided by 6.74, and it gave me 184.272997. Okay, see how I kept all those decimals? I want you to do that too. Because this is the number of thousands we borrowed, right? So this doesn't really mean 184. It means it's 184.272997 times 1,000. So I multiplied it by 1,000 and I got 184,272.997. I'm going to round that, of course, and I got 184.273. All right. So I went from originally borrowing $225,000. I've paid for 10 years. Now I owe $184,000, right? Roughly. So I can see that it decreased, and that's what I want you to see. That's the kind of number I want you to give. Yes, it's slow. Yes, it's a little depressing to see how long it takes to pay off a house, but at least it's getting smaller. All right. So big picture I want you to see out of this little video I just put together is the key is the chart. Make sure you use it. Don't look at that formula. I don't need to use it. You should be able to use charts for the car, for the house, for everything. That'll make it easier. Hope that helped.